Hey, how you doing? Hey, this is Admin from PlexGuide. So, making another quick video to help out the wiki and help you out. So, one video that probably should have been made out of many of them is probably the Plex install itself, but the Plex install has gone through a lot of evolutions. Myself and the other coders here can tell you about the lengthy and long process from claiming a server, from running it remotely to locally, and all the unique situations that it can put you in. But today I released a 5.086, so future-wise you should be good. But I simplified the install process a lot, and I think that will make it better for you. And the reason for it is I say that it's more optimized for you. So if you look right here on the left-hand side, that you'll notice that so basically this is the end of the pre-installer. And so now I added a new option that makes, based on what you pick, you make your PlexGuide a little bit more aware of what you're running. So first, you're asking like, well, what does this matter for Plex? Depending on the options that you select here, will determine what type of Plex YML runs. So if you're running a local machine and you pick remote, well, you might have problems with your deployment. So there's different variations of how Plex deploys depending on your answer. So right now I'm running this on a local VPS or virtual machine. That would also include cloud servers. The only time you'd ever pick a dedicated server is it's just a full-blown computer running pure Ubuntu. And then also for the remote, it's the same thing. You're running a full-blown server, not a root server and all those other things that you see, including cloud servers. So make sure that you select the right one. In the remote server edition, it will ask you for claiming a server. In the local edition, it will not, because you can just easily jump onto your server. So I'm going to go ahead and pick local dedicated server, and we'll pick the other option later. So basically, boom, it shows me all my information here. So later on, I'm going to update this variable page to also display one of those options that you selected. So pretty much we're going to go to Plex, but before you go to Plex, there's various tools that are going to be able to help you here. So we have PG Dupes, which will help you with finding duplicate programs, PG Track, which will stuff your sonar and radar with endless amounts of shows, so you don't have to type it all in. PG Scan to help pick up on some things, and these were all made by James. So great author. So he's a big help to the community. So we at PlexGuide, what we try to do is we just try to adapt an interface to make all of these tools available to you. Web tools basically provide some more stuff. Tele, we may see this going out of the door in the future, and then SSTV proxy. I haven't played with this yet, and there's a reason why there's beta labels on them. So I'm more confident of dupes right now. Scan I got to kind of work with, but anyways, you'll see some adjustments in the future. So we're going to go ahead and deploy Plex. Before, there was like a nightmare series of questions that it would ask you, and it was always due to the situations that that would be presented. So now it doesn't ask you about the CND and all that stuff. So basically, if it is, then it automatically builds it into the thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do Plex. So here you got Plex latest or custom. On purpose, I'm going to pick custom. Like if you do latest, it's going to pick the latest tag, but I'll pick custom just to give you some information. I might have to update this link right here. So let's go type HTTP. If it's not working, I will definitely make sure to fix it after this video. Okay, that's awesome. I usually, sadly, I've had to use Chrome in the Ubuntu version because it is not always that stable. And this does nothing special. There you go. Okay, so what this is doing is it's basically taking you to Plex, Plex's Docker, Hub Docker, where you can find the latest things. So these tags that you're seeing right here are the tags that you would put in. So typically when you deploy the latest one, the one that you saw earlier, it would automatically deploy this one. This is the one you would do. You can just do the latest and you're usually good to go. If you put in your Plex pass information, everything works out the box. So usually this is the tag to go with. The purpose of the tags is not really to pick like public and Plex pass, but the purpose is in case you need to go back in time. Now, a bit of advice. If you have Watchtower turned on, again, if you have Watchtower turned on for Plex and MB, and there's a reason why on the pre-installer it asks you if you want to skip it, it will automatically update it to the latest, probably within minutes. So make sure that you have that off. And again, I'll probably put some kind of warning where, if you have that set on, it'll probably warn you here, but that'll be a feature. Because these custom features is what eat a lot of time. So you can select this, and then you just copy, and then you can just paste into there, make sure you shift insert if you put it into there. So for right now, we're just going to make it simple. We're just going to go with latest because it's just easy. So what this is doing is it's basically taking, from a nerd standpoint, you see all this stuff executing, roles. Might as well teach you just a little bit. So when you're having issues, you kind of know what the troubleshoot here. So we're going to go look at Plex, and this is the deployment script. So right now you can see that it's pulling. But where is it at? So you see this Plex tag bar stout thing. Basically, what you put in there, or when you pick the latest, this fills in. So basically, it knows what version to pull. So we're making life a little bit easier for you, because if not, you'd have to go back and customize all these files yourself, or you'd have to, edit a big variable text file. Sometimes easy, sometimes difficult. So basically, that's all it did. It just deployed all this stuff for you. So now, if I do localhost 32440, like if you look in the wiki, it always says that you need to add the web, because if not, you're going to get a bunch of XML garbage. And so now I can go ahead and claim my server. So it's going to ask me what account do I want to log in with. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with this. And then I'll just go ahead and type admin 9705 and kind of go from there. And you notice that, knock on wood there, right? Okay. You'll notice that it did not ask me to claim my Plex server. And the reason for that is because this is local. It's very easy. You just go to localhost, you're good to go. So but if you have to claim your Plex server in the future, it's because you're using a remote version, which will show very quickly. So you can go ahead and just name this. I'll just name this, PG test. And then you just kind of go from there. So it's very simple. In the future, if you want to, let's see, 1 second. If you want to back up your Plex server, you can. I highly recommend that you have enough space on your server to do all this. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out because this will be good to go. Okay, we're going to go back to PlexGuide. But basically, you'll see the options and you'll be able to set it. But make sure you have enough space for the backup of your server, because if your server is conducting a backup and there's not enough space, it won't happen and it never uploads, and yeah, it's just kind of a bad day. So make sure in your NZB Git or torrent or whatever you're using, make sure you have enough space left over. So like a server that has like an 80 gig Plex file, the zipped up version that I've seen typically runs around 25 gigabytes. So maybe I said terabytes earlier, but if it's around like 80 or 90 gigs, it'll be around like 25 gigs from what I've seen. So there's a lot of variations to that. So make sure your server has enough space to zip it and then be able to upload it. So right now I'm gonna have Plex cron job off. Typically I do manual backups. The reason for it is because Plex easily scans the stuff. So me, if I do like a monthly backup, I'm pretty much good to go. If I ever have to restore it, yeah, it might take like half a day to catch up, but it's not a problem for me. It's the initial deployment of Plex, which is a headache when you start from the very beginning. So as long as you got some kind of backup, you're good to go. If you need to change your server time, we already got all this built in for you. So if you need to pick this, it will go ahead, and you notice now the server time is fixed. You probably showed the right one before, but just to let you know, this is important for when you select a cron job. So we're just gonna go ahead and do off. So there's your information to access it. So this is the local address. You can also do localhost because this is local. And that is pretty much it. So before, you kind of had like a lot more questions in regards to what to do. So let me think here. So we're gonna do, see here. So before, the web tools kind of asked to deploy after that, but it just kind of slowed down the entire process. A lot of people don't use it, but people who do, it's here available for you. So I just put this feature in, so hope this works. like anything, I probably still need to have the ability to restart the container after this deploys. But other than that, you should be pretty much set. If you need to change your server type because you selected the wrong one, just go to change server setup. So it's going to tell you to exit. It's going to go through the pre-installer. And the good news for you is that we sped up the pre-installer a lot, and you may notice that actually we'll have enough time. So it says, hey, it's already installed. This process will take like 15 seconds. So this probably should be done maybe within 30 seconds. So yeah, let's just go through that. So anyways, let's bring up the wiki for Plex. So we're gonna go to media servers, and then we're gonna go to Plex. And I kind of pretty much talked through some of this information. So there's your chart. So this is if you're doing a remote server question. So I need to adjust the wiki accordingly, but pretty much a lot of the information is there for you, how to claim your server, so what to do. And then we have alternate methods on how you can get into your server if you can't claim it. So what we'll do is, this is a local server, but we'll just go ahead and do a pretend claim so you can see it running for yourself. So there's the alternate methods, tunneling in. So this is good for Windows users sometimes. But if you technically follow the directions correctly, you're gonna be good to go. Okay, so, but you see now it's giving me the option to pick what I want again. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick remote. So this, again, this is not the case, but you'll notice that when I deploy it again, it will give you a variety of different options. So program suite, media servers, Plex. See right there, you said it's asking me, do I need to claim it? So for these purposes, I don't need to claim it. If you do, just follow the instructions that you see in the wiki. So you're gonna go to plex.tv, and then you're gonna see this code. Make sure you copy it to the clipboard. Do not copy this, because there's actually lowercase letters. Why Plex does it, I don't get it, but make sure. And then you notice it goes here. And so right now, Plex is deploying. In theory, it should work still fine, because we've already claimed it, and that's really the differences between the two, is the claiming methods. So there you go. See, so you notice that the Plex deployment's a lot faster. You notice here there's a note this time for remote users. It wasn't in the last one. So if you are a remote user, make sure you go to this address or you type your domain, because if you don't do this and you don't follow these exact instructions, what's going to happen is that every time you see your server from another computer, you'll see it as indirect. Your friends and your family will always see it as indirect. And every time you go to app.plex.tv, you'll see it as indirect, or it may not even show up at all. So make sure you go there, you go to enable, and sometimes Plex will kind of trick you. So you'll follow this. You're like, okay, I want to check manual. I'll type port 32400 and hit enable. And then make sure the light's green. Don't forget to do it now. Sometimes you may not see the light turn green. Honestly, just close out of it completely, go back in, and you'll probably see it green again. So it sometimes gives you misleading statuses. The best thing to do is to test it from a second phone. Okay, so you see it even says, hey, read your wiki, you know, X, Y, and Z. So we're gonna keep it off, exit. So let me just make sure that this bad boy's still running. So add library. So when you add your library, this is maybe good information for you, but when you pick your thing, you're always gonna pick Union FS. So honestly, you just go ahead and type it if you know your path. You're not gonna type mount, it's just Union FS. For some of you that have problems, you can do your computer if you need to go to crazy locations. But again, Union FS is the way to go. So, you know, if your path is Union FS, and then let's say your Google Drive is directly TV, or your local is TV, then that's all you would put, and it would just be good to go. Nothing is gonna show up here. So I'm just gonna hit add library, but again, nothing will show up. And then let me go. And you notice now we're here. So we got our TV, shows, everything. So this is the part that I was talking about right here. Now, I'm on a virtual machine that it doesn't have the IP address bridged. And so this is the reason why you're seeing this. So completely ignore this, but if this was the online version, it'd be funny if it worked. Who knows, might, right? Because I did something, you know, special. But normally you would manually do this and then you hit retry. This, again, this is only for remote servers. So in theory, this shouldn't work, but that's how you would do it. You close out, you go back in, and you're good to go. So that's just a little bit of FYI information there. Other than that, I do appreciate your time. Just want to let you know, if you do have the ability or time, please go to our PlexGuide project, click the star right here. It does make a difference on GitHub. It does help promote the project. It also gives confidence in that the project actually is a project. And then again, there's a lot of great projects out there that are not recognized, but again, it does help us. If you also have the time to, please, you'll probably see a globe around. If you can click that, hit subscribe, comment on the video, all that good stuff. It does help promote the video, you know, the whole algorithm thing. So other than that, thank you for your time.